Okay, so we're going to start on the review functionality. So we need to have an endpoint where we can create a new review for a product. But before we do that, I want to install something called Morgan, and I actually meant to install this much earlier. It's just a logger so that when someone hits a route in our back end, we can actually see it logged in the console. We can see the HTTP verb, we can see the status code, the URL that was hit, and so on. So it's really easy to implement. Basically, we just install it, bring it in, and we add the middleware. There's some other stuff that you can do that I'm not going to get into. I just want to get just some simple logging. So in our console here, I'm just going to stop this, and in the root, I'm going to say npm install Morgan. And then we'll go ahead and run npm run dev again, and in the server.js on the back end here. So let's go to server.js. I'm going to bring Morgan in. And then we just want to add the middleware for it. So I'm going to go right after where we create our Express app. And I only want this to run in development mode. You can run it in production, but I usually don't. So we're going to say if process.env.node.env, if that's equal to development, then we want to call app.use and pass in here Morgan. And there's different arguments you can pass in, and it can do different things. I usually use dev, which just gives us like the stuff that I just said, the HTTP method and status and all that. So I'm going to save this, and now down here, if I hit one of my routes, like let's just go to get products, and I'll just send this a couple times, and now down here you're going to see that it was a GET request to API products. It gives you the status code and the time, or the time it takes. So it's just a little handy tool that I usually use, and I actually meant to install earlier. So now let's create the functionality, or create the endpoint where we can create a new review. Now, one thing that I forgot to do in the model, so if we go to product model, we have a review schema with name, rating, and comment. Now I just want to associate a user with the review aside from just the name, so that we can check to make sure that the user didn't already add a review. So I'm just going to grab this right here and copy it, this user, and paste that in here. That way we have a user associated with the review. So now in the product controller, I'm going to grab the last route we created, which is update a product, and copy that, paste that in, and let's change this. So this will create new review, and it's going to be a post request because we're adding a resource, and then it's going to be products API products /ID /review. Oh, let's do reviews. And it's going to be private but not admin. And then right here we're going to get from the body, the request.body, let's get the item and the not the item, we want the rating and the comment for that particular review. And then we need to find the product that we're reviewing, which is going to be in the URL. So we're grabbing that, and then we'll check for the product. Let's get rid of this stuff here. Update product has already been declared. Oh, I forgot to change the name. So let's change this to create product review. Okay, and then if the product exists, then I want to check to see if the user has already submitted a review. So to do that, we'll create a variable here. Let's call it already reviewed, and set this to products, and then we can access reviews, the array reviews, and I'm going to use .find here, and we want to say for each review I want to check for the review.user, which is going to be what we just added in the model, that user, and I want to just add toString here. So we're going to turn it to a string, and then we're going to see if it's equal to, so for each iteration, let's say equal to the logged in user, so request.user._ID, and let's add toString to that as well. Okay, so that's going to be true if it already exists. So we'll say if already reviewed. Then let's send a status of 400, so bad request, and then we'll throw a new error, and we'll say product already reviewed. All right, so now let's go under this if and continue. So if they didn't already add a review, then we're going to construct a review object, and that's going to consist of the name, which is going to come from request.user.name, so the logged in user's name, the rating, which is going to come from the rating in the body that we destructured above. However, I do just want to make it a number, so I'm going to wrap it in number. And then the comment, which is going to come from above as well. And then finally, the user will be the request.user._id. All right, so that just creates an object. It's not being saved or anything. So we'll create that, and then let's take products.reviews, which is our array of reviews, and we want to push onto that the new review. And then let's say product.numReviews, because we want to update that, and we'll just set that to product.reviews.length. So that should update the num reviews field, and then we want to update the total rating, so product.rating, because we have ratings in each individual review, but we also have an overall rating. And the way we're going to figure that out is with product.reviews, and we're going to use reduce, and that takes in an arrow function with an accumulator and the current item. And all we want to do here is take the current item dot rating, and we want to add the accumulator, which is going to start at 0. And then once we add all the ratings up, we just want to divide by the total length of the reviews. So products divided by products dot reviews dot length. Okay, so that will give us the average. Now we still haven't saved anything yet, so let's await and take that product, call dot save, and then those fields should be added to the database. And we'll respond with a status of 201 because it's a new resource created, and we'll just send back a message and say review added, and that should do it. Let's make sure nothing's going on down here. Okay, now let's try this out. What's this? This is, oh, that's from before. So let's try this out with Postman. So under products, we could create a reviews folder, but I'll just put this in products. We'll say add request, and this is going to be a post to /API/products/ID/reviews, add new product review. And let's open that up. And I'm just going to grab this, paste that in here. It's going to be a post request, and it's going to be /. Now we need a product ID, so here I'll grab for the AirPods headphones. I'm going to just copy that ID, paste that in, and then /reviews. And let's go down to the body here and say raw JSON. And all we should have to add here is the rating that we want to give it, which will be 1 through 5. So let's do 5. And then we have the comment. So for that, let's say these are great headphones. Now I need to log in. If I just send this, oh, not found, we need to add the route. So we have our, what do I call this? Create product review. So let's export it. And let's bring it into our product routes. So create product review. And then let's put this, we'll go right here. I'll just copy this down. And let's see. So this will be .post, and it's going to be to /. So API/products/ and then the ID/reviews. And in here, this is going to be create product review, but we do want to add the protect middleware. So let's save that. And let's go back to Postman and send again. So we get no token. Now I want to log in as John Doe or Jane Doe. So let's go to users auth and let's log in. And in the body here, I'm going to log in as Jane. So log in, I get my response. My token is now is saved in Postman. So I'll go back here to the review, and in authorization, I'm going to choose bearer token, and I'm going to send this. So products is not defined. Let's see. Product controller, I must have put an S somewhere. Yep, I did. This should be product reviews. Product reviews. Product reviews. So just make sure you don't use products. Okay, so that should be good. Let's go ahead and save this and let's try that again. And we get review added. And if I go back to this product listing and send, now you can see in reviews we have an array with one object from Jane Doe. Rating 5. These are great headphones. It also should have updated, where is it? So the num reviews is 1. Even if the sample data we put said 4 or something, that's going to get replaced. And also the rating, the rating is 5 as an average. Now, if I go back here and I try to add another review, I get product already reviewed. All right, so that's working good. So I'm going to just save this route. And now that we know that the backend is working correctly, in the next video, we're going to jump into the front end and add it to our UI.